Did you know it's actually sponsored by Squarespace?
Yeah, look, I understand coming in late and all that. That's fine. You're a cat, I guess. Cats come in late, but what were you doing? What were you doing all night? You did what? I mean, did you, like, clean it first? No, bleaching's a different thing. You're disgusting. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe this isn't working out, Cat. I think maybe you may need to, like, move on, you know? Become like that stray that you keep talking about with your little leather jacket. I think you might need to just, sod off. Look, I'll give it to the end of the episode, and if it works out, you can stay. But if not, I mean, it might be just that time, you know? Sorry, everyone. I'll be with you in a minute. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 76, I think. 76. I'll say 77 just in case it isn't, and then I can edit that in later. Today we're going to be making the last Bangarang bot in my book. In the book I made with Ben, Apocrypha Now, you know, that really nice book that's available for sale just down below if you click the link. That book. So we've already made a bead bot, a junker, and a meaty one, and I guess that leaves the upper. I'm really not looking forward to this. People like cats, yeah, that's true. People do like cats, but I'm not quite sure you're a cat. So I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't want this to sort of seep over into the episode, but it's just been getting a bit too much. It's just coming in late at night, weird smells, just weird letters and things sent to the door. There was even a basket of kittens left at the door the other day. You know, just tiny little tube kittens. We've drowned them in the river, obviously, but like, it's just getting a bit much. Don't look at me like that. You can stare at me with your dead eyes all you want. Oh, you're just gonna keep staring at me. Anyway, let's make this Bangarang bot, shall we? So let's get out my lovely copy of Bangarang in the Gutterlands and figure out which bot we need to make today. I think we all know which bot it is, but look at this book. It's a lovely little book. I mean, it's still available for purchase down below. I mean, Bill, stop it. Stop trying to sell your own products you spent ages making on your own channel. I mean, who do you think you are? Today we're going to make an upper bot, and I've left this one till last because, I mean, we'll just look at it. Look at it. I mean, how am I going to make that? We'll figure it out. So let's design an upper bot. I like to design my builds before I make them, even with little rubbish drawings. It doesn't really matter how good your drawings are, as long as you kind of develop ideas. That's the whole point of sketching. I'm just trying to justify how terrible my sketches are going to be in this episode. So I've left the upper bots last because, you know, out of the four factions, that's the faction I was a little bit dreading to make because, you know, they're not rusty, let's face it, they're not made out of junk, they're not all just bits and pieces stuck together. They're going to be like sleek, Guyver looking mothers. So my design for an upper bot is going to be very sleek and symmetrical and just kind of generally intimidating looking, you know, for all the other bead bots and junk bots, and not very asymmetrical like what I usually like. I like bits of junk stuck together. That's usually my aesthetic. This isn't really my aesthetic. This is for those people that probably play Warhammer, you know, or, you know, Rishi Sunak if he came to Gutterlands and played Bangarang. This is the kind of bot he'd bring along. I'm thinking something like the Guyver. You know, have you ever seen that old anime, the Guyver, or the terrible movies with Luke Skywalker in them? The Guyver, basically a load of weird armor plates stuck together in almost like an organic way. Imagine like elves from Lord of the Rings if they had robots. I think that's what I'm kind of going for. So anyone who's been following this series of Bangarang bots, I've made weapons that can kind of interchange between all the bots, and the only two weapons we haven't made so far is a zapper and a crusher. But I do need to make more hands, to be honest. I think we need more hands, and I will make those off camera, if that's alright with you, because they're just a pain to make with a camera in my face. They're just a bit tricky. Plus, you know, these look pretty fun. I'm kind of looking forward to making these. So I've been keeping up to date with all the builds on Discord and Patreon and Instagram. Hashtag Bangarang in the Gutterlands. If you've hashtagged that, I've probably seen it. If not, go on Discord or Patreon and share it with me. I do intend to share a lot of images of people's Bangarang bot builds in my last episode of this series. Not my last episode ever. You know, I mean, I could pretend it's my last episode ever and have a big like thumbnail of my face with those really fake Photoshop tears down my cheek that basically looks like someone's jizzed in my face. Have you seen those? They're really weird, really off-putting. But there we go, there's my design for an UPPERBOT. I'll pick one of those or an amalgamation of all of them. We'll see. So this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Now Squarespace is a website where you go to make websites. Now if you have no idea how to make a website, you don't know how to do with a HTML, is it HTML? I'm not sure. And you just want to make a website about things like, you know, like a pickle website, for example. Like, yeah, like that, like Pickle Perfection, that's it, Bill. Click there. If you just want to make a website that's quick and easy and clean and nicely designed, then go to Squarespace. I made this website in like, you know, it must have been like 0.5 seconds. Maybe a little bit longer, I'm not sure, but it was really easy and it looks pretty good, and I will add stuff to it at some point. But yeah, if you want to make your own website, there's a sale going on at Squarespace. There's a little link down below. Go and have a look after the episode, obviously. So this is my little cardboard guide I've been using whilst making Bangarang bots. It's not the best guide in the world, I'm going to be honest. It's a bit of, yeah. But it's 60mm high by 40mm wide. That's all you really need to know. So for the main body of the bot, we're going to use wooden beads, because I love me wooden beads. I love me wooden beads. I've got lots of wooden beads. They're good because you can cut them down to whatever shape you need. You can sand them and you can drill holes in them easily. And, you know, I've got lots of them. We're going to use some wire as an armature. Armature wire is really important, especially in your bead bot. It's the only thing that's going to keep it together sturdy so you can actually play with it and it doesn't fall apart after a week. My wife did make me a bead bot once as a gift. Like, it was really, really sweet of her to make a bead bot because she knew that's the sort of thing I did. And she didn't use armature wire in it. She obviously never watched any of my episodes. So the bead bot fell apart, and so did our relationship. We didn't actually fall apart, we're going quite strong, it's all fine. But I just thought it might be quite funny to say that, because, you know, people who watch my show tend to realise that I don't narrate what's on screen. I tend to say things that are funny or interesting, you know, like me pretending me and my wife broke up over a bead bot. That might not be interesting to everyone, but I know that 6% of my audience that are desperate, lonely housewives who pretend to watch this with their children, they might have found that interesting. It's not true though, I do apologise. So there we go, that's going to be a pretty solid structure for my UPPERBOT. Now the whole trick with bead bots is to make the thing not actually look like beads on wire, is to disguise the beads. I think a lot of people who make bead bots seem to forget that. I mean, granted, a lot of those people are children, but you know, there's no excuse. I mean, come on, fuck your ideas up. So I have lots and lots of bit boxes just like this, full of all sorts of weird plastic beads and plastic shapes, and I'm always on the lookout. Whenever I go to a shop, any craft shop, I look for something that wasn't intended for what I'm going to use it for, but you know, just a tiny little weird interesting plastic shape, and I tend to just collect them all up, like nail art things, beads obviously, little wooden hexagons, I don't know, just anything that's small and interesting. Plastic confetti you can buy in like the works. And these are just pieces of dominoes. I don't know why I've got a box full of dominoes. I'll probably use those as doors for something at some point. But you know what I mean. Just look out for weird plastic things. So I'm going to use these big plastic beads as shoulders, but I realise it's made the thing a little bit too broad, wide. Like, I mean, what's more intimidating than big broad shoulders? I guess that's kind of the look I'm going for. Maybe like a big fat neck, or no neck at all, which, you know, if you see a geezer with no neck at all, they look kind of a bit scary, turtle-like. So to add to the intimidation factor of this bot, I was going to have really skinny little legs, making his upper body look even bigger. But then I thought, let's make them double jointed, because these are upper bots. You know, these are more advanced than the bead bots with their single jointed legs. Mugs. So a little word of warning, always good to check your scale against other bots you made. And yeah, that's looking about right, I think. Yeah. So I like my bots to be completely scratch built or trash bashed, whatever you want to call it, and I don't want to use real bases that exist, so I'm going to use poker chips. I've used poker chips for all my builds so far, and they work out to be about 39mm. So if you did want to use a real base, you can use like a 40mm, 39mm base, whatever there is available. So there we go, that's the basic structure of my upper bot. Now this bit's done, this is the hard bit. Yeah, usually it would be the hard bit, you'd just greebly up the thing afterwards. But we're going to use EVA foam to make armor plates. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm terrible at measuring stuff and cutting out straight lines and things like that. So we're going to use a lot of hole punches to create holes and textures and a uniform cut. This thing, I think it's, I'm not sure what it is, but it cuts this nice little tag out, look. I don't know what it is. Comment down below. I do love me a hole punch, I've got to be honest. Thank you to Patreon support. I recently bought myself one of these really fancy kind of scalpel blade things. I think they're for actual surgery, but we're going to use it to cut EVA foam because we need a really sharp blade to cut nice little smooth lines. I mean, I don't actually cut any nice smooth lines, as you'll see. So I tend to draw around an armor plate I made because I tend to need 2 of each. So, you know, it's a good practice, but they're never quite the same shape. It doesn't really matter. This is never going to be precise. The hardest part is actually sticking them on and getting them in the same position. I mean, that kind of looks right, but that's just one plate. We've got about 2 billion left to go. A tip I should probably mention is that if you're going to do overlapping armor plates like I am here, start from the bottom and work your way up. Otherwise, it's kind of impossible to go the other way. You know what I mean. It looks kind of a bit like a crab at this point, so we're going to add a head. We're going to use this rhinestone as its head, and I'm not going to bother with a neck. Like I said earlier, you know, nothing scarier than a man with broad shoulders and no neck. Look at that. Look at the precision in those drawn lines. I mean, come on, Bill, Jesus. Another little tip I realised a little bit too late was that if I take a piece of EVA foam, fold it in half and then cut a shape, then I've kind of got 2 of the same shape. You know, like when you cut snowflakes out of a piece of paper with children around the holidays. I didn't do it this year because obviously I was too busy making videos, but you're welcome. I'm sure they understand. They understand. Now, if you're one of those people that can plan ahead and actually design a bot properly, you could probably use this method and make a really good looking bot. I mean, I just kind of winged this and it's looking pretty good already. I mean, it is a little bit wonky in places, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like it's an upper bot or anything. So I've talked about EVA foam, obviously, quite a lot of my videos, and I said before that if you ever want to stick something to something, stick a bit of EVA foam on it first and then stick that thing on the EVA. Because EVA foam just drinks up super glue. It drinks it up so well, and especially when you stick a bit of EVA foam onto another piece of EVA foam. And if you do it wrong, if you take it apart, it kind of just rips the thing to shreds. So you've got to be really careful with it. I I did rip this thing up a few times. I've just edited that stuff out because that's the magic of editing, you know, and it makes me look better than I actually am. So, you know, if you're doing this at home and it's driving you insane, be safe in the knowledge that it drove me insane as well, okay? I've never been quite the same since. I had a few comments last video about my junk pot. I didn't add any feet. That was a genuine mistake. I forgot to add feet. It looks okay without feet, to be honest, but this pot, I think I'm intentionally not adding any feet because one, I can't be bothered. Two, it looks okay anyway, and to be honest, when I kind of flock the base, you can't tell. Maybe his feet are in the sand, or he just has weird little pointy feet. I mean, yeah, I can live with that. That looks alright to me. Hello everyone, I'm just going to interrupt the episode there just for a brief minute. I just want to talk to you about something. So I'm in Chicago in March for Adepticon, and flights are not cheap. So I figured, you know, I need to raise some money to get flights over there. I've sold illustrations on this channel before. People seem to want them, especially since the game Bangarang in the Gutlands has come out. You know, there's lots of nice illustrations in there, and people might want an original copy of some of those illustrations. So I figured, you know, I might actually sell them on eBay. So I've got them here. Obviously, they're all kind of weird, scratchy illustrations of bots. You can have a look. I'll stick some pictures up on the screen. I'm thinking a lot of these will be used in the new expansion for Bangarang in the Gutlands. So, you know, if you get them, you'll get an official piece of art from the new game. So, you know, basically, I just want to raise some money for the flights. If you'd like to buy some original art, go down, click on the eBay link down below. People have asked, like, why don't you just stick a fixed price on them? But I don't know what they're worth. It's up to you. If you bid on it, then, you know, the more of you bid on it, that's going to be what it's worth. So I wouldn't know how to value them. Anyway, it will be doing me a favour, and hopefully you'll be getting a nice piece of art to go on your workshop wall. What? Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? I mean, you can't draw, you can't do anything. You haven't even got thumbs, you got forks. Anyway, back to the you know, the thing I was making just a minute ago. You know, that thing. As a great man once said, let's Greebly the f*** out of it. That was Greg Greebly there, the inventor of the Greebly. I don't know if that's true. That is true, actually, look it up. It's an actual fact. These are hemispherical beads. Now, I had some of these before with sticky bits on the back, like stickers. They were absolutely useless. Try and get ones without sticky bits. And we're going to use, remember I talked about confetti earlier, plastic confetti? Well, this is that stuff. It's used to kill pigeons at weddings. So I need some little tubey beads, but in this box I have loads of those wheel spoke things, you know, those little bits you used to stick on your BMX as a kid, and it would go down the little wheel bar thing and make clackety sound. I got loads of those. I don't know why. So this is that perfect opportunity to hide all of those horrible cut bits of EVA foam I made earlier, all those little horrible jagged lines. Just stick a little Greebly next to it and you won't see it anymore. I mean, like on this shoulder bit here, we'll pretend these are big power packs on the back, shall we? But yeah, basically I'm just going to be hiding all of my little mistakes. That's the best part of Greeblyin'. I'm going to use these little wooden tubes as exhausts, and I'm going to stick them right in the armpit, because where best to have an exhaust tube than in the armpit, you know. I think that seems to make sense, even with Bangarang bots. I'm also going to make a weird spinal column down the back, I think, with these little confetti things. So you may be asking yourself, like, how do you know where to stick all these Greeblies, Bill? I'm like, I don't really. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. Anything that looks cool, really. And any big wide open space that needs breaking up, just Greebly it up. You know, I'm sticking little bits on his shoulders there, you know, maybe a couple of little Greebly butt cheeks. You know, and maybe a little Greebly codpiece there for his little imaginary robo penis. I don't know. It just felt right at the time. And I think with that codpiece joke, we're done. I think we're all... Oh no, wait, the hands. I forgot the hands. So as I was saying earlier, if you were listening, we've made pretty much all of the weapons we need, apart from a zapper. We need a zapper and we need a crusher, just down here. Now we could make a hand if we have, let's be honest, there's no time to make a hand. I'll make one of those off camera. So I usually browse Amazon, just type in plastic crap, literally plastic crap, and I'll find weird plastic shapes, like these little plastic toothpicks. I've used these before for ruster spears, and I found these little weird cog things. Now I think they'd be perfect for a little zapper. So I've gone a bit old school with my zapper, you know, like a Forbidden Planet kind of zapper ray gun thing, but it just kind of felt right, you know, it felt right. Look at that. These are some metal beads I'm going to use, just showing them to you. All of my weapons and hand attachments are interchangeable between the bots. I use magnets, but to hide the magnets, I like to use a bit of EVA foam, like a little lip thing that goes over the top, just like that. And of course, it wouldn't really be like a ray zapper gun without two kind of pointless coils sticking out the top. And there we go. There's my zapper. Zap. So this is a screw wall plug thing. We're going to use this to make our crusher, and I'm also going to be using this little chip fork thing. I don't think it's a chip fork. This is like, I don't know, for hors d'oeuvres, I think, maybe. So some of these plastics are really hard to stick. I gave them all a quick blast with a blowtorch, a flambe torch, whatever you want to call it. It kind of does something to the plastic, makes it more stickable. I think that's the word, stickable. To stop my crusher from looking so small and inadequate, I've added a few little wooden beads just to bulk it up a little bit, you know, despite what they tell you, it does matter. And I'm going to stick a little bit of EVA foam down the end here just to make it a little bit more stickable. That's a word, isn't it? If it isn't, I mean, it should be a word, because, you know, it definitely is more stickable. So there is my crusher, pretty happy with that. I know it's missing something, rivets. Yeah, rivets. We need rivets, not just the build, but a bill making stuff video without rivets. I mean, come on, what's going on? Rivets make everything look cooler. I remember an evening a while ago when I tried to convince my wife that we should just pop rivets and everything in the house, make it look like everything is riveted together, just because it makes everything look cooler. But she didn't go with it. I mean, she's probably right. I'm going to add some magnets to these hands. It did actually take me a while to do because they're a pain in the ass, but I've edited all that stuff out and made it look really easy. So there you go. Thank you. I think it's time to paint. So I took the little guy outside in these sub-zero temperatures to try and spray paint it. It came out quite splodgy and speckly, but it doesn't matter because that's paint. And on this channel, we don't really talk about paint. Painting time, as we all know, is boring time. And boring time is story time. That's not the right way of me putting it, but it doesn't matter because you know what I mean. We're going to talk about the build. For those of you that are new to the channel, for some reason, you're watching this video, I like to create backstories and lore and things like that, you know, for my builds. So they have like a little bit of a story behind them. And they all exist in the same world, which is called the Gutterlands. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to thegutterlands.com. But basically, this is story time. I'm going to talk about this upper bot right now. So this is an UPPERBOT, one of the 4 factions used in a game of Bangarang. A game of Bangarang is basically like a gladiator type game set in the town of Respite, where they basically just gamble on which robot is going to beat the crap out of another robot. Just as simple as that, really. So uppers weren't really a thing when the game originated. Bangarang was made by the people of Respite, and the people of Respite tend to be pretty poor, outcast kind of people, and they tend to build their robots using junk and old beadbots and old parts and things like that. But word got out.
The universe that the Gutterlands is set in is a peaceful one. There is no more war, there's no more conflicts. The only place where you can have any action or excitement is the Gutterlands, which is why, you get these upper class, posh people come along for a bit of poverty tourism. So they'd pay for their travel to the Gutterlands. They would stay in respite a few weeks at a time. There are nice hotels in respite for the upper class. They would just observe the locals and the dishevelled public, and they don't get to see this sort of stuff in the rest of the universe. All these buildings that are dilapidated and falling down and just covered in rust. They just sit there and think, oh, that's very interesting. I love the colour, that kind of thing. It was only a matter of time until they discovered the Bangarang tournaments. And obviously, being rich and upper class, all that money, nothing to do with it, they thought, well, we can just gamble it here. You can't gamble anywhere else in the universe. We can gamble here on Bangarang tournaments. So they decided to make their own Bangarang robots. Not on planet. They would make them off planet in manufacturing plants. And then make these really sleek upper bots, bring them down to fight. Now, you may think that's not really fair, and it's not really, but, they're not very good at it. So the upper bots have like the best armor, the best mechanisms, and best weapons, but that doesn't make them the best fighters. The people of Respite have fought for years. They've used these bots out in the wild, fighting creatures and monsters and all sorts of things. They are battle worn. They know how to fight a fight. The uppers have absolutely zero idea how to fight. They've got no instincts at all for that sort of stuff. Whilst the Bangarang bots do have like a limited AI, they're not allowed to use AI in a battle of Bangarang. It basically has to be controlled on the sidelines by a technician, and these technicians tend to be uppers. They want to give it a go, but they're just no good. They're no good at controlling their bot. They have no fighting experience. They have no tactics. They tend to get beaten quite a lot, so it's not too bad. Let's make some crustard, shall we? I do get asked how to make crustard every episode. But anyway, that's the upper bots. That's really all I need to say about the upper bots. They're just posh people with posh toys, and they don't know how to use them, basically. I hope you enjoyed that. So all I need now is an oil wash, and just to save argument, I'm going to show you how to make some. And there we go, that's how to make oil wash. Do you know how to make oil wash yet? Yeah? You know how to do it? Good? Okay, I might not have to show that clip next. Let's be honest, I probably will. Comment down below if you want to learn how to make oil wash or crustard. But there we go. There is my upper pot. Now I did go a bit crazy with the oil wash, and I want this thing to look pretty clean, so I'm just going to wipe it down and let it sit in the recesses. But I think we're done. So there we go, all done. The upper bot done. It actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to turn out, to be honest. I was dreading it. And to be honest, if I could learn to cut straight lines, I can make pretty cool little minis just using EVA foam. So maybe something to keep in mind for the future. I was thinking of making the whole thing like chrome, but that would just look a bit gaudy. I guess it's an upper bot, so they like gaudy. But there we go. That's all 4 of the Bangarang bots made. All that I've got to do next is make terrain and play a game. But before that, we've got the big bot bash, which is like a big collaboration that I'm doing with a load of other YouTubers about making a big bot. And it's not anything to do with Bangarang and the Gutterlands, although the generator is on the back of the book. I thought I'd just chuck that in there. Basically, scale isn't important. You can make whatever bot you want to make, as big as you like, full sized if you want, size of a house, whatever you want to do. It's basically just an opportunity to introduce you to other YouTubers you may never have seen or heard of or whatever, and just sort of spread the love, But remember, scale isn't important. It can be as big as you want. It doesn't have to be 28mm like these guys, So it's just like a palette cleanser for me. I I think I've been making stuff in 28mm for so long. I want to make something a bit different. But that's it. Glamour shot coming up in a minute. But that's it. I'm not going to repeat what you just said because it's despicable. Get out. Go on. Get out. Off you go. Use the cat flap. It's just a hole in the wall. It comes in and out through there. I'm sorry you had to witness that, everyone. I mean, long time coming. No one likes him anyway. Today, no one likes him. I don't like him. Good riddance. If you'd like to buy those illustrations, there's a link down below. There's also a link down below if you'd like to buy this book for the game Bangarang in the Gutterlands. And I guess Glamour shots coming up in a second. And that's it. Anything from you? Oh yeah, I forgot he's gone. Good. It's a good thing. But anyway, I'll see you next time for episode 77 or 78, depending on if I got it right this time. See you next time. And there he is, the UPPERBOT. Now, I was dreading making an UPPERBOT because, it requires careful model making skills, which I don't really have. But now that I've done it, I think I can make some pretty cool miniatures using this EVA foam. I mean, I think that looks pretty good to me. What do you think? Let me know down below. Now, we've got the UPPERBOT, we've got the others here. We've got all 4 of the factions done. The next episode, I think we might make some terrain. And then I think I'm going to do a nice, lovely battle report for Bangarang in the Gutterlands. Hope you stick around for that. But before that, we do have the big bot bash at the end of this month, which is basically a big collaboration with me and a load of other YouTubers, where we're just basically going to make a big robot using the bot generator on the back of the book. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it more the next episode, but thank you, patrons. Honestly, thank you, patrons. You stuck by me through the horrible month of January, and I do appreciate it. And you know what? I'm going to do this one